we're so glad you're here. We got Field, we got Hawk. He's back from his international tour. More on that later on.
Hawk.
So glad you're back. Sir Hawk.
Happy to be back.
Great to be in your presence. Dan Orlovsky, Dan Graziano, 2 Dans. Better than 1. All right, Field, what has you concerned most about the Eagles' offense?
Oh, man, let's see if we can get back on track here. Great segment. Sunday morning fantasy football now. It's a great segment. Only Dance.
The Only Dance, yeah.
Great segment. Watch it every
I just assume everyone already knew.
You've been on that. You've been on it.
No,
You have.
You have.
You did.
You
You
just
did
may
a
not
guest
realize
spot.
that. Anyways, let's talk about the Eagles' offense. I've heard Dano talk about the Eagles' passing offense. I won't step on their toes there because he's done a lot of insight, or he has a lot of insight on it already. I'm sure he'll dive into it more. A little bit concerning, though, how pedestrian the running game has been for this Philadelphia Eagles offense. You know, passing game can be a little bit more creative in concepts. Sometimes in the running game, it's just do what you do and just do it really well and better than the defense can actually defend it. The offensive line does not look nearly the same this year for Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley hasn't had the same level of production, which I think is more about the offensive line than Saquon. I don't think he's fallen off some cliff. Check out some of these numbers that kind of support how pedestrian the running game has been. Saquon is averaging just 2 yards per rush before contact. He was over 4 yards in that same category a season ago. He has yet to rush for 20 yards on a single play this season. If you go back to last year, he had 11 separate games with a 20-plus yard run. He had 11 games with 100 yards. Hasn't gotten that to any of their first 6 games. Last year, when things maybe weren't going great with A.J. Brown in the passing game, you could at least say, hand the ball off to 26, let him make some magic. Opening drive of the NFC Championship game, the Commanders control the clock. They go down, they get points on the board. Next play, Philadelphia's first offensive play, 60-yard rush from Saquon for a touchdown. That easy out, the smash button just isn't there this year right now in the running game.
Yeah, 47 negative plays for this offense this year. That leads the NFL by a significant margin. They got to run it better. I think 2 things I'd like to see in their run game. Number 1 would be, unsurprisingly for me, I'd like to see Jalen Hurts a little bit under center. I'm not saying you have to completely revamp the offense. 2, I think a lot of their run game has been a little bit too side to side for me. I'd like to just get Saquon going downhill. I think that would help their offensive line.
Agreed. Minnesota
defensively, the one thing that I've been surprised about them this year is run game defensively. They have not been good. They're bottom 8 in basically everything defensively. And I think the thing that's most surprising is Brian Flores, their defensive coordinator, has always been really good at putting numbers to the line of scrimmage. He's not doing it as much this year. Or some of those run game stunts or pressures that are called on first down that are really good for either run and or play action pass schemes. They haven't been called as much this year. So if there's a game that you would actually feel good if you're feeling like, let's get our run game going, it's this one, coming off of an extended break and against a defense that's not handling the run good.
I thought that would be the Giants game last weekend because the Giants were allowing 140 rush yards per game prior to last Thursday night, and then it was yet
I just would like to see this run game go at defenses a little bit more than this way too much.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think this offense isn't playing with the amount of trust it needs to be at its best, and that's top down. That's from play caller to quarterback to receivers. There's plays out there that they're leaving because the quarterback isn't anticipating and the receivers aren't finishing. You're going to see a couple of these plays here. This is a 23-yard gain to Dallas Goedert, the tight end, but look how late that Jalen Hurts sees it.
Over the middle, right?
Right, over the middle. There's 2 options. It's there now. Throw it. That's when you make this throw. Look how long it takes. Goddard's throwing hands up in the middle. Jalen knows this. He feels this. He has to trust what he's feeling and not waiting to confirm it for so long with his eyes. Next, you're going to get this big play down middle. This is 2 weeks ago to A.J. Brown. This is a big play that they have to have, and Jalen is locked in on A.J. A.J. clears coverage, and he slows down once he gets past the DB. And where does this ball end up dropping? 3 yards, 4 yards ahead of A.J. Brown. He has to trust that his quarterback is going to see him down the field. And then lastly, this is 2 seams down the middle of the field, single high coverage. You know, with that single high safety running to the right, now you throw this ball now. You have to feel this. You have to know this. This doesn't take you seeing it with your eyes. This is a wide open touchdown to Smith, which these are points that they're leaving on the board. And when you talk about how you feel about this offense, this changes that narrative. This changes the feel in the locker room and in the huddle if they're executing on these plays.
I think reality, too, is that's something that Jalen has struggled with for years.
Right? Yeah.
Just
See, that's
over the middle of the field has never been kind of his comfort level passing the ball.
And I think that's what we're getting to here, right? Like, we've seen enough of Jalen Hurts over the years for all the great things about him that I don't think the foundation of the Eagles offense is going to be a reliably consistent passing game. with him at the quarterback position. Like, we've seen him be great,
sure,
but I think if that's what you are in terms of your DNA, I just don't think you're going to get consistency week to week, which gets back to the run game. And I do think they have to find ways to be more creative in the run game, because last year they had a week 5 bye and they had a big meeting, and it was like, the offensive linemen, look, we're clearing these holes. Let's let Saquon run through. Great. But they're not doing it now. Yeah. And they're not, like, whether it's because Mekhi Becton was much larger than the guy who's playing right guard this year, right? Yeah. Like, whatever it is, they're not getting those plays. So something else has to be done in the run game. Kevin Patullo, promoted from the staff, I think, with maybe kind of like a do no harm sort of mandate. I think, but he's also a guy that's been around some different systems, has his own ideas. I think it's time we saw some of them.
We throw around the term the pass game is predicated on the run game a lot, but I think there's different versions of it. Like, there's pass games similar to San Francisco or a Seattle right now that's predicated on the run game because of the play action element. I think Jalen and the Eagles' pass game, to Graz's point, is predicated on running the football because it's building the one-on-ones on the perimeter. That's where he's by far most comfortable. That's also the way they're built, having the two guys on the outside that win one-on-ones. That's kind of how they're connected offensively.
And you can avoid the middle of the field if that's a weakness.
It's not been a necessity for him as a passing, quarterback or in their offense.
It's a good point. They got to make some changes. The Eagles rank 30th in total offense this season. They rank top 10 in each of the previous 3 seasons in a lot of these categories. Let's get to some top stories. Let's start with the Eagles' opponent, the Vikings. Quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Graz, what more can you tell us about his status?
Still working his way back from that ankle injury. He's been out at practice this week. They want to see what he can do. That's basically what their head coach Kevin O'Connell has said. Get him out on the practice field, see what he's capable of doing, check in with him every day, how he's feeling, and what he feels he can take on the next day. If he's cleared, then he'll play. Remember, the backup Carson Wentz is dealing with a shoulder injury, non-throwing shoulder, but that's limiting him as well. Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin, they're optimistic that they could get him back this week. He has been out with a quadriceps injury, but he's back at practice today, and Washington is hopeful that he will play this weekend against the Cowboys in Dallas. A little more concern with the Rams and Puka Nacua, who is dealing with an injury suffered in Sunday's game. He hasn't been ruled out, but their head coach Sean McVay has said, they will consider sort of the way Puka plays in terms of, obviously this is a guy that's a very physical player. They have a bye next week. They could sit him out and give him extra rest if they want to. They're having a weird week, too. They're practicing at Camden Yards, the Baltimore Orioles home stadium.
Where they play baseball?
Where they play baseball, and then they're not flying to London until Friday night for a Saturday arrival, so they may take it all the way up to the end of the week before deciding whether he goes.
Just with that detail, too, it makes you think he's not going to play this week. But
it doesn't sound like it, but they haven't come out and said that yet.
Interesting
so we'll see.
Stuff. Guys, if Nacua can't go on Sunday in London, it'll be the 7th game he's missed over the last 2 seasons. Last year, in 6 games without Nacua, the Rams went 2-4 with just 4 touchdown passes, and Rams quarterbacks were sacked at more than double the rate than when Nacua played. That's an important number, too. Nacua has caught 82% of his targets this season. All other Rams receivers have caught 54%. I mean, Hawk, these numbers show you just how